Today our topic is mesh analysis, which is also called as loop analysis. The methodology of loop analysis is first of all we have to identify the number of loops present in our circuit. After identification of the loops present in our circuit, we have to assign the current to each loop. We have to name the current I1, I2, I3 or number of as required by the circuit. It is not necessary to choose only clockwise direction of current. We can also choose anti-clockwise direction as per our own will. It is not necessary, but the convention followed by this book is to choose clockwise direction of the current. After choosing the direction of the current, our next target is to write down the KVL equation for the loop, for the whole loop. And the basic assumption in this method is that we have to assume that the current of the loop in which we are writing KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, is highest among all the other currents. This is only an assumption in this method. Now we can clearly understand the method of loop analysis with the help of this example. In this example, as it is clearly shown that we are having two loops. One loop is representing current I1 and the other loop is representing current I2. In loop 1, we have the components a source, voltage source, 2 volts, a resistor which is 2 ohms, and another resistor which is 4 ohms. And we have assumed the direction of current I1 as clockwise direction. Similarly, we have another loop in the circuit, and the direction of current in that loop I2 is also clockwise. And in loop 2, we are also having a 1 ohm resistor, a 4 ohm resistor, and a 6 volt battery. Now, if we look at the circuit, we come to know that the resistor, 4 ohm resistor, this resistor is common resistor between two loops. It is common between two loops, so it means that the common resistor between two loops means that it is present in equation of our both loops. Okay, now if we write down the equation KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law equation for loop 1, if we start from the voltage source, that is 2 volts, as per our previous convention, in this direction we assume that it is negative 2 volts, minus 2. After that, this one, the current is entering from this and exiting from the other point, so we are calling it as 2 ohms multiplied by I1. Why? Because in this loop we are having current I1. Then after that, the current is going in this direction like this, and it is going to pass from 4 ohms resistor. And as per our assumption, that we have to assume that the loop which we are considering is having higher current than the other loop. It is our assumption. So we have written I1 minus I2, I1 minus I2 with 4 ohms. Now after that, we have to simplify the current equation, KVL, which is voltage law equation for currents. And as you see that this is 2 volts, this is I1, and one I1 is having 2 ohms resistor with it, and other I1 is having 4 ohms resistor with it. We will combine both of them. Similarly, we will separate I2 from this equation. After that, this would the equation 1 which I have mentioned, equation 1 is the final form of our equation. I1 into 6 ohms minus I2 into 4 ohms is equal to 2 volts. This is called the first equation for loop 1 or loop 1 equation. Now after finding out the loop equation for our first loop, we have to find out the loop equation for our second loop, that is loop number 2. Now in loop number 2, we come to know that our circuit is having a voltage source, that is 6 volts, a resistor, a common resistor as we know in our previous loop also, that is 4 ohm, and another resistor that is of 1 ohm. As we know that from 1 ohm resistor, current I2 is directly passing through, so we write down as 1 ohm multiplied by I2 to write down the KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law equation. Similarly, for 4 ohm, now in this case, as we are in loop number 2, and loop number 2 is having I2 current, and as per our previous convention, we know that the loop current in which we are present is assumed as the higher current than the other loop. So in this case, we will write I2 minus I1. And similarly, 6 volt, as it is in opposite in polarity and the current is entering towards the positive terminal of the battery, so we are assuming it as positive voltage source. Now after simplification, our final equation is like this: minus 4 ohms into I1 plus 5 into I2 is equal to 6 volts. Now these are our two equations for two different loops. Loop number 1, a separate KVL equation, and similarly for loop number 2, we are having a separate KVL equation. Now we can analyze these equations as per our previous method, as we were using previously, by using subtraction method or addition method and cutting down one of the variable from the equation and finding out the value of other variable. Our second method, a few students were asking me in my previous lecture, that was to find out with the help of determinants of the matrix. So today I will discuss this determinant method so that you guys can clearly understand the concept. So in this we will use we are using both the equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2, and we are writing here their initial values. With current I1 in our equation number 1, we were having 6, and with current I2 we were having minus 4. Similarly, in equation number 2, we were having minus 4 with current I1, and we are having 5 with I2. And similarly, multiplied by the column matrix I1 I2 is equal to, at the other side, at the left hand side of, is equal to, we are having 2 volts and minus 6 volts, right? So this is the one of the method by which we are going to solve the circuit with the help of a matrix. First of all, we have to combine our equations in this format. Now, what are we going to do after making the matrix in our in this kind of circuit? After making the matrix, we have to find out the determinant of the initial matrix which was initially given. So to find out the determinant, I'm writing, we are going to multiply 6 with 5 and minus 4 with minus 4 and subtracting both of them. So we come to know that the determinant value is 14. Now, if we have to find out the value of current I1 and I2 with the help of matrix or determinant method, what we are going to do, we have to put the value which was after is equal to, which was on the right hand side, instead of first column. In this one, instead of first column, we have to remove this one, these values 6 and minus 4, and we have to put the values which were after is equal to. Those were the values of our voltage sources, 6 and 2 and minus 6. Now after that, and divided by the determinant of our original matrix, this one 14, determinant of our original matrix. And after solving this type of in a matrix, again we have to find out the determinant, same multiplication and subtraction type of operations to perform this. We have finally concluded that the value for I1 is minus 1 milliamperes, right? Similarly, in case if we have to find out the value of I2, we will replace our second column, this column, with the values on the other hand side of is equal to 2 and minus 6, and divide it with the determinant value like this. And after solving, we come to know that we are going to have the value of I2 as minus 2 amperes. Sorry, it is amperes. I forgot to mention the sign here. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of this negative sign? What is the purpose of this sign? The purpose of this negative sign is that we were assuming the directions of current in our loop was wrong. The clockwise direction was wrong. Our current is flowing in opposite direction. This was the thing we were discussing previously in our nodal analysis type of circuits also. Now I am going to discuss the loop analysis in another example. As you have already seen my previous example, you guys have clearly observed that in that example we were having two voltage sources in two different loops. But now in this case, if you guys have a look over here, we are having a current source in one loop and a voltage source in the other loop. And what is our target? What we have to find out is V out 1 and V out 2, these two. This is our V out 2, the voltage drop across this resistor 2 kilo ohms, and what is the voltage drop across this end to this end of our current source, right? Now let's see how we are going to solve this kind of circuit. Now what we are going to do here is we first of all mention the loop currents. The loop currents are I1 and I2. This one is I1 and this one is I2. And as per our previous assumptions, we have drawn the clockwise direction of our both currents. Now, our next target is to make the KVL equation for both loops separately. So, if we consider the loop number 1, which is having I1, this is loop 1. We are not requiring any kind of loop equation, any kind of KVL to find out the current I1, because we already know what is the current in the loop. It is 2 milliamperes current, so there is no need to make any equation for this loop. Now our next target is to find out current I2 from loop number 2. So we have to write the equation for loop number 2, and that equation begins with this 3 kilo ohm resistor I2 minus I1. Previous assumption that we are assuming the loop in which we are standing has the higher current than the other loop, thus 2k into I2 plus 2 volts, which was the source voltage. Now after after rearranging these all values, this is our equation number 2 is our final equation for loop number 2. Now in our next step, if we have to find out the current I2, as we already know what is the current I1, so we just have to put the value of current I1 in loop number 2. So after putting the value of 2 milliampere in loop number 2, we come to know that the current I2 is 4 by 5 milliampere. I have just written 4 by 5 and not writing the answer in fractional part. Now after that, we come to our main targets. Our main targets were V out 1, VO1 and VO2. So what was VO1? VO1 was to finding out the voltage across 2 kilo ohms resistor. How can we find out the voltage across 2 kilo ohm resistor if we know the loop current or the current which is passing through that resistor, and that was I2. We simply multiply the value of I2 with 2 kilo ohms and we come to know that V out 1 is 8 by 5 volts. You can solve it in fractional part by yourself. Now we have to find out the current across the source. This is a kind of circuit we are having here, like this. It is, I guess, 4 ohm. This was something, and this was actually V out 2, which we have to find out. So what we are going to do here, we are going to do here is that we will write the KVL equation. As we have to find out this value V out 2, so what I am going to do here, I am just uh, writing a KVL equation and assuming that as I have to find out the value from this point to this point across this current source, so I am writing it as V out 2, and I will write the remaining equation as I write KVL equation for my previous loop. So what am I going to do? I am writing V out 2 plus 1k into I1 plus 3k into I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. This is my equation. Now after simplification, as I already know what is the value of I1, similarly what is the value of I2, after putting all these values in this equation, the final result for V out 2 I get is minus 28 by 5, which is equal to minus 5.6 volts, right? So if you get a current source in your circuit, in this type of circuit, you don't need to get confused. If it's only the loop analysis, no other requirement, then you just have to find out the other current which is not given in our circuit. And similarly, if it is not loop, only loop analysis, if you have to find out other voltages or any other kind of values also, then again no need to worry, you can adopt this kind of procedure.